Okay.
Just a second, I try again, but
I can record it. I see now, recording has started.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So, uh, okay, standard project. You can give a name to your project, and we can click OK. After that, the system asks us the device where we want to download our program. So in this case, I can select ASM LP4X. In PLC underscore PRG, we have the first program added to our application. Okay, now you can see the basic structure of our application. We have our device. By double-clicking on our device, we can open the windows for the device. And first of all, we can check if the version of our target correspond to our device LP40. Okay, in this case, is correct. We can find 3, 5, 12, 30. What we need now, if we already have connected our LP40 to our network, we can try to perform a scan network. Okay? So
sorry,
yeah.
Davide, how did you create the target?
Yes. When we start a new project, you can select, okay, a device. So the application will be open in this way. Okay, you have here device, okay, PLC logic application. If you double click here, you can open the right windows for the device. The target is
we don't have the device. That's that's the main issue. We just have the training. Maybe we created wrong.
The standard. Did you create a standard project?
I believe so.
Yes.
So if you started with the standard project, after that, the system asks you what is the target you want.
We are trying to create a new device.
Oh, maybe you can do it again, David.
Yeah, maybe we can start again.
So, okay. Okay, we can close the project. So, did you import the LP40 target device by tool device repository?
No.
Okay, so, but did you have the target file of LP40? Do you have, Ariel, the target file?
Yeah, we have the files. We have the files, but how do you import these files?
Yes, on tools.
Tools.
Device repository.
Yeah.
And now you have these. So click on install.
Yeah.
And browse to the file, to the location of the file.
Oh.
Check to have the filter on also part of description file.
So you also need to
device description files LP40X.
And which of those? Which one do we have to?
The first LP40
Okay.
x.dev, because this is the PLC. The target below is the PLC plus motion, but in this case we start with the PLC. Okay.
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 So you also need to do it if you downloaded the Codesys editor from our website, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
From our website, products, industrial automation, control software. Okay.
Exactly.
Exactly. Here you can download a big packet. In this packet you have the development tools and also the zip for the with inside the target file.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's the one that we downloaded.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we have now the SMLP LP4X.
Perfect. So now you can start file. You can start with the new project.
Okay.
Start with the standard project because the standard project include all components you need for your application.
Ahí habrá ficheros.
Sí, que va a haber un jaleo. Yeah, just 1 second. Yeah, one second.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. We have created a new one.
Perfect. Standard project. After that, I click on OK. And the system asks me, okay, what is the target do you need for your device? Yeah, in this case, I already selected the ASM LP40, but I have more than one target that I can choose. Okay? In this case, we need the ASM LP40. Okay, the first program is not important because after the starting of the project, we can delete or add in other programs. This is not a problem, okay? So after that, I click OK. Are you in the same situation of my system?
It's loading. Yep.
Perfect. So you should see the name of your project, and below you see device ASM LP4X.
Yeah, we have the same.
Perfect. Now double click on device ASM. On the right, a new Windows will be open.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now what we can see in this Windows. Okay, the icon in the left side is theoretically your PC. In the middle we have the gateway, and on the right we have our target. So what is the gateway? The gateway is a component that is already installed on your system where you install the development tools. And you can find the icon of the gateway in the tray bar. Can you see this? Okay.
Well, we don't have we have the gateway, but we don't have that icon.
No, it's okay. It's important that you have this icon.
We don't have it.
You don't have it,
no.
But the little dot on the gateway is green or is red or is green.
It's green. It's green. It's like
it's green.
Like
now that means you can see the icon, but everywhere you have this icon, or in any case the service is sorted.
We're checking.
Okay. You already connected an LP40 on your system, on your PC, or not?
Yeah. But we are checking if Codesys is running.
Okay. But in this moment, okay. If in this moment, if you have the gateway with the green dot, okay.
Yeah, we have it.
Okay, perfect. So now we can perform a scan network. Now we can execute a scan network. with this operation, the development tools go to search every PLC in your network. The PLC that match with your target device, but also PLC that in this moment are not matching with your target device. The system search every PLC, every Codesys PLC on your network.
We are not getting any response. That's okay, right?
You can see any PLC on your list?
No.
That means that you can have two problems. Or the Codesys PLC is not running, or you can able to reach the LP40. So
we don't have any LP40 here, so it's normal.
Okay, so normal. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I understood that you already connected an LP40 or other system. Well, what the target are you using now, or you don't have any target?
We don't have any target.
Okay. So it's normal that you can see anything in the list.
But they can use the laptop as a Codesys PLC, right?
Yes, you can use the laptop, converting your target in the. You can convert the target in Codesys control WinV3, because usually when you install the development tools, this PLC is installed on the machine, and in the tray bar you can see this icon. It's similar to a PLC.
Okay, so we can connect another laptop to this laptop and install the, let's say, play the Codesys runtime.
Also in the same laptop, you can install.
Also in the same.
Also in the same, it's not a problem. Look
Codesys
at
control.
Yeah, Codesys control WinV3. Look at this. I can start also this PC. This PLC is on my virtual system, and now I have another PLC running. So check it out. This is my PLC that's running on my system.
Yeah, we are trying to run Codesys control.
Yeah.
But it's finding some errors.
If you want to update your system, update device, you need to run this Codesys control. Not run. It's the updating of your device. It's Codesys control WinV3. Update device.
Claro, es que tú ahora no quieres usar un LP40, quieres usar ese, Win3. Bueno, el era el X64.
So, Luis.
Yes?
The question is, what do you prefer? Do you want to see the configuration of an ASM LP device, or do you want to use your laptop as a Codesys?
No, we can go on just with following the David explanation with the P40.
Okay.
Yes. I do the same. I prefer show you how to configure LP40, and after we have finished, I can show you how to make some test or some example with the Windows target. Okay.
Okay.
So I come back to LP40. Because there is a difference on the Ethercat driver configuring LP40 and configuring your device. So now I come back to the device as an LP40, and now I execute an scanning. After that, I'm able to see my LP40. And select this. So now you can able to see another dot green on my PLC. We have the device name LP40. We have the target ID description and the target type. This is information comes from ASEM. We have the target vendor, in this moment ASEM. And we can check also the target version that's running on the LP40. So now, by online command, we can download our simple application. Okay, when you download the application, the system downloads the file and the PLC is in stop. That means we have to execute a start. And now our application is running. It's not doing nothing, but is running. Ok?
Hecho download y luego nada.
Es que justo también otra cosa. Did you download the application?
Yes, by online.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So for Ethercat communication, what we need for Ethercat or others kind of communication? On the device, right-click and choose Add Device. Okay?
Okay.
Here you can see field buses. Not all these field buses are available for LP40. Now we can manage Ethercat, can open, can bus with can open, and we can manage Modbus RTU by serial port, and also Modbus TCP. Okay. Okay. I'm using an headphone, so I think is Ariel that has. Okay. So for Ethercat, we can. In this, I show you how to configure Ethercat because is the configuration more or less not more complicated, but little bit special for the Ethernet driver. So I can select Ethercat master and add device. I can close these. What we need to run correctly the Ethercat. First of all, we can open the Ethercat master by double-clicking at Ethercat master windows by double-click, and we must to select the Ethernet port that we need to manage by PLC. So in this moment, okay, can you see here source address MAC? Here we have a browse button. We can select it. And now the system shows us the available Ethernet on the LP40. So we can see LAN 1, LAN 2, and the ubiquity adapter. So for Ethercat, it's mandatory use LAN 1. Okay? It's mandatory. You can't execute a Ethercat communication on LAN 2. I select.
This is for LP30, LP40, right?
Right, exactly.
So what about LP25?
Sorry, I lost.
LP25?
25 is the same. No, only one Ethernet port.
Yes. So
that means you can use only this Ethernet port.
Okay, and then I need to upload, download.
No, you can use now. The LP25 is not possible. Use Ethercat because for the programming you need to have another Ethernet port.
Okay.
Because Ethercat is not possible share the Ethercat communication with standard Ethernet messages or others protocol, Ethernet protocols. The only way could be add an Ethernet and converter USB Ethernet on the USB port available on the LP25.
Okay.
Okay.
But I can only use Modbus TCP then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I selected the LAN 1, and now I can download to my target the Ethercat master stack. That means I can execute again a download on my target. Okay. The system advised me, okay, there is no application on, there is another application that running on my PC, and ask me if I want to overwrite this application. I select yes. Okay, I can execute a running. If I log out my applications, my development system, I can try to browse again the Ethernet port. Now you can see that the LAN 1 has disappeared. Why? Because in this moment the PLC codices has removed the Microsoft driver and replied with our driver. That means now the Microsoft is not able to see the LAN 1, because it's only codices manage this port in this moment for Ethercat. This part is very important. Is it clear for you?
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, perfect. Now we have two ways to insert our devices in the network, because in this moment I just inserted in my application the master. Now I would like to insert my slave. So we have two ways. We can insert the slaves manually, or we can try to execute a network scanning. By right-click on Ethercat master, we can find a scan for devices. Selecting this application, the system execute a network scan on the Ethercat, and go to find every slave on my network. Now, in this moment, I just have one node with different module installed on this node. If you don't have installed the description file of the slave or of the slaves, the system will find this slave, but advise you that inside the system the description file is not present. How we can import the description file of the slaves, in the same way how we have installed the description file of our target. This means tools, device repository, install, and we have to browse to the location of our file. If we check in the filter, we can also select the right filter that we need in this moment. In this case, for example, Ethercat. And I can show you, for example, on the desktop, I have the folder with the description file of our ASEM devices. So in this case is ASEM IO, but this is just the code, and DP.xml. This is the file for the ARIO ASEM devices. Okay, so it's enough. Point to this location, and after that open the file to import the description file. And you can do that for every description file provider for the devices producer. Okay?
Yep.
Perfect. Now that we have installed now after I've installed the description file, we can perform our scanning of the Ethercat, find our device, and if we want, we can also copy to project. Okay, so now we have this button, copy to project. That means that the configuration found on the network will be copied on our application. So copy to project, and automatically the system passed our configuration on our application. So double click on the device, and we can check the configuration of the device. Ethercat has automatic addressing of the devices. That means we don't need to do anything for the address of the device because it's completely automatic from Ethercat. What we can do on our device is enable the expert settings, and if we want, we can check, for example, if we want to check exactly the same version that we need in the description file. By this function, when the system starts, the communication Ethercat, check if the vendor ID, the product ID of the device on the network is exactly the same of the vendor ID, product ID stored in the description file. Okay, if these IDs are not the same, the system advise the user, and the PLC will not running. Okay, but this is up to you. For the I/O, you have to do nothing special for the configuration of the node. What is interesting is going to the singular modules. For example, this module. This is 8 digital input, and the module mapping I/O, we can see how big this module is available for the application. Okay. So after this configuration, we can download again all complete configuration of our system and running. So now you see these green circles that describe that the communication is running well. in this moment we didn't declare any variable in our system, and we didn't create any program. So if you can see the current value of our input, for example, you see that these values are gray. Why are gray? Because now the system is not checking this value, because we are not using this value in our program. So the compiler is a smart compiler, and that means that compile only the variable that you need in your program. If you want to check, anyway, if you want to check this variable, also if even if you don't use this variable in your program, it's possible to do that. And you need to go in this menu, always update variable, and change the set of these properties. And you can change on enable to always in bus cycle task. That means that every value of these modules will be updated, even if you are not using this value on your program. This setting is useful only for debugging operation, not for the final running of your application, but just for debugging. So now I can download again my project. Okay, start. And now you can see that now the value of my digital input are not green, but in this case are black because are false. Okay, this means that all variables are updated for our PLC. If we can see, if we select another modules has the same value gray, because as the default setting of these properties in use parameter device setting. That means that the system is not updating this value. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what we can do? We want to, for example, read this input in our program. Okay? You are two possibility. First, you can declare a variable inside your module. For example, input 0. This variable will be declared like a global variable. Now, if I open my program, okay, I can declare my variable. For example, IOB 101. No, just a sec. Oh, no, okay, because this, no, we can use directly the name of the variable, okay. So input 0, okay. And I can type just a semicolon. This is permitted in Codesys programming. So I select this parameter, and I coming back to the use parameter device setting. So now I just declared a variable. Sorry, we close that. Okay, an input 0 in my first module of a digital input, and I type this variable in my program. Okay, we try to running. In this case, I didn't perform execute big modification in our network settings, and the system enabled me to download the modification in online chain. That means that the program is still running and will be not stopped. And in the first cycle of the PLC available, introduce my modification. So, okay, the system still running, and we are able to read our digital input. Okay? For the moment, everything is clear?
Yeah. Are you
Okay.
planning to make a small or just use this variable and show it in premium HMI then, or?
Yeah, I would like just to show how to declare in other way the variable, for example, using a global object, okay? So in application, you can right click and click add object. And in this way, you can add in your application the global variable list, okay? You can add on your application more than one of these variable lists. For the moment, I add just one. So here I have GVL is our global variable global list. I can insert, for example, input 1. I declare this variable like a bool. Okay, sorry. Okay. Now I go to my module IO mapping declaration. In this way, I can double click on my digital input 1 and click on the button with the dots. And now I go in application, I select GVL and I select my input 1. Okay? So you can see the difference. In the first way, I declared my variable in my module. In the second way, I declared my variable in a global list. And after that, I referenced my variable in my modules. In the mapping, these two different icons show us the two ways of addressing of the variable. The first is the creation of the variable. The second is a linking of the variable. Okay? Now I can download this modification. By this checkbox, I can tell to the system to update the boot project. Okay? What is the boot project? It's the file that we are storing on LP40 that permit us, when we power off the system and power off again, that the system automatically start with our application. Okay? So we can click OK. Okay, I'm sorry. As you can see now, I just declared the variable, but I don't use it. And as you can see in my module, the value of this variable is not updated because I'm not using this. So I have to go in my program and I need to insert my variable. So I'm sorry, because in GVL we have this attribute qualified only. This attribute This attribute, just a second, sorry. Okay, this attribute obligate me to write GVL dot input one. That means I have to use the namespace of the list GVL dot input one. The complete name is more or less the same of Visual Studio, for example, C#. In C# you have to use always the namespace of the variable. Okay, after that, okay, we can compile. We don't have error messages. We just warning because the system warning us that, okay, the instruction that I wrote has no effect in the system. I can download my modifications. And okay, now we are able to read also the input one. Okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, what we need to do for sharing this information to Premium HMI, we need to to add another object in our application. So, application, right-click, add object. And here we need to insert to add symbol configuration. Okay? For the moment, you can leave the standard setting of these windows. Okay. The first one, the simple configuration, need a build. So I need another build. After that, I select the variables that I want to share with my application, HMI application. So in this moment, I select input 1 and input 0. And I need also to download again my application. Okay, so we can go to open Premium HMI. Okay, and I create a new project. For example, yes, for Windows C7. It's okay. Okay. I set the name of I type the name of my project. Okay. This is the same for a moment. I select advanced. Next. Okay, I select driver 3S. Code this driver. Next. Okay, we can start with we can start with some pages, some screen. Okay, this is not important. Okay, so now we have the setting of our driver codices. In the general, you don't need to do anything. We need to just to insert a new station. So add, very important, device IP address. Device IP address is not the address of your target. This is the target where the gateways is located. Okay, so if we have installed a gateway on our system, we can use the localhost of our system. That means we can write 127.0.0.1. On the LP40, embedded in the runtime, you also have a gateway. So when we download our project on the LP40, also with these settings, the communication we can run. Okay? It's clear this because it's very important part of the communication between HMI and PLC.
Is Spain still awake? Because I don't hear anything anymore.
Okay. So.
Yeah, we are here.
Okay. Now.
Mic is.
Okay. So.
It's closed because of the noise.
Okay.
Okay. So it's clear for you the part of the device IP address.
Yeah, it's okay.
So this means this is the address of the gateway, where the gateway is installed. Now we have installed the gateway on our system where is developments, and also on the runtime system. So we can use the localhost address. The second very important parameter is PLC address / name. We can find this information in our development codice system. Here you can see the device name of our target. It's always better use the device name and not the device address, because the device address is calculated by the IP address of the target. But the IP address of the target can change. Also, if you unplug and plug, for example, the LAN 2, this address can be modified. So it's always better use the device name of your target. Okay. So I type LP40. Be careful because the name is case sensitive. Okay, that means you need to write exactly the same letters that you read in the device name of the codices development system. After that, we can click OK, and we can also try a test cable communication with our target. Succeed. We have the result succeed only if on our PLC target the symbol configuration has been installed and the PLC is running on our target. Okay, now the system asks us if we want to import the symbol, the variable from the target. I click yes. We have to wait to install, to import the variable directly from the PLC. So clicking import from PLC, this means will be executed a communication to the PLC, and all variables will be asked to the target. Now we can select if you want to import the variable with the complete name of the symbol of the variable, or if we just import the last part of the name. Okay, this part is up to the user, is not important for the communication. So we can select all and import. The second way is import from file. That means we have to browse to our the location where we have saved our project. In this case is this location. We'll find this XML file and we can open this file, and in the same way we are able to import our variable from the file. The second way is useful when you don't have the target in your office and you need to update, for example, the application, the HMI application. Okay, now we can select all variables and import this variable. Okay, in the real-time DB, we found our two variables. For the communication, is not important the name of the tag. I'm sorry, I have to switch to English now. But it's important the dynamic link of your variable. Okay? Just a second, I save the project and I'm going to switch in English. Okay. Now I can open the screen one. We can insert, for example, tool add. And I can link my variable to my object. Okay. Okay, now I can run my project. Okay, now in the below side of the Premium HMI screen, you can see the green LED blinking. This means that communication is working fine. I try to simulate. No, I can. This moment, sorry, but I don't have anything to simulate the input. But what we can do is add another variable in our program. For example, a counter. Plus 1. Okay, we can compile again our application, open the symbol configuration, and okay, add this variable on our symbol configuration file. After that, I can stop my application. I can execute again the importing of the variables. So communication driver, codices, right click, import from PLC database. We can try to import from PLC. Okay, and this time I import just the counter variable. Import. Okay, I insert a display on the system and I drag and drop my variable here. So Oops, it's a little bit big the size of the number, but anyway, it's working.
Yes,
Not
so one
complicated.
question.
Yeah.
You're running the premium HMI on your laptop
Yeah.
and you're using codices on the LP40, right?
Exactly.
And still with the localhost address, this is working. Is this normal?
Yes, it's normal because I have a gateway installed on my system.
Ah, okay.
The communication between the HMI and the target is based on the gateway. The only thing is important that you can find one gateway in your network. Theoretically, you could have the HMI on a PC, the target on other PC, and the gateway on other devices. So it's not important where important that the system find the devices. I can also write here the address of my target. Okay. And running, for example, test communication, and running the communication on my target. But I can also write my IP address and run the project on the target, because anyway, Premium is able to find the gateway. The problem is if I unplug my PC from the network, so the premiums are not more able to find the gateway. I prefer use every time the local loss, because usually the local loss is present on your machine and is ever present on our target, because on the Windows CE the gateway is embedded on the runtime. Okay, on the PC usually we suggest to the customer to install the gateway also on the Windows 32 or 64 target. So anyway, it's always better use the localhost. Okay. Okay. I could also download on the target, but now I'm not able to show you the display of the LP40. No, I can show you. Sorry, I have Ubiquiti, so I can try. I can run MMC memory. Yes, that's called this. Okay, so I upload. Okay, I start. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Can you see Ubiquiti screen?
Yeah.
Ariel? Okay. So it's very simple.
Yeah.
Because this is the base from Ethercat configuration and also for communication between HMI and codices. I show you another important part for codices. In the device menu Windows, you have the PLC settings label part. In this part, you have bus cycle operation. Okay. In this moment, bus cycle task is not specified, is unspecified. But it's very important when you have more tasks. Okay. Now we have just the Ethercat task and the main task. When you have more tasks, it's very important to specify which is the task that have to update the variable image of your PLC. When you use Ethercat, it's normal set Ethercat task like tasks that have to update your PLC image, okay? Because on LP40, maybe you have just one protocol, but you could have also, for example, Ethercat master for a control and Modbus TCP just to share your values or variables with the other device. So it's very important decide what is the task that have to update the image of your PLC. And by these properties, you do that. Okay?
Yeah.
Another important property is enable diagnosis for devices. In case you have a network with some devices on the network, you also need to execute a diagnostic to know if your device is connected or not. So by this property, we can add a special library in our application. This library is called CAA device diagnosis, and the namespace is dead. By that, we can execute a communication diagnosis for each device. For example, I add a control on my first and only device in this moment. So I can type the name of my node dot get device state, and I can check if this is equal or not to get device again. Okay, here device state dot running. So if I have any state different from state running, I can manage this situation. For example, I'll dev device 1 true. Pool is okay. Yeah, sorry, is an instance, so I need, okay, the bracket. So now I'm downloading my project. Okay. Okay. Now my device is connected. If you can see, the all device one is false. Now I unplug my device, and now it's true. I plug again. I don't remember if I'm managing the automatic, we can check it, the automatic reconnection. No, okay. Now I unplugged the device and after that unplugged the gate, but the properties automatic restart slave is not checked. That means that the system waits some operation to run the Ethercat stack to say to the PLC, okay, everything is okay. Wait some operation. Usually, if not, you can enable this. That means if I unplug the device and after that I plug, the system automatically restart the network and the PLC. So now we have started the communication working fine. I unplug the network and plug again, and the system starts again without problem. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Maybe you can also share those programs with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, sharing of the project. Just a little assuming regarding the version. Now we are talking about target version, okay? But we don't have only the target version. We have also the component version. That means Ethercat is a component in our application, and this component has his own application. In this case, for example, I have, yes, because I also installed the new version of Codesys. My Ethercat has the 3513.20, like a component version. But also other components of your project has different versions. So in your project also you have installed, for example, the device description of ASM, or you should have installed, for example, I don't know, Snyder driver describe file. If you want save all this part also with all component inside, the best way is create an archive project of your project, because by the archive project you are able to include every component, every library with the right version inside this file. So in this case, I prepare this archive project and save this. That means every company will be updated. The archive project will be saved with all right version of the component. The only way I have to do is update to the right version for you. And 20, yes, update. Okay, it's a general rule. You can run all the application. That means all the application with all the target version on the new runtime. There is no problem. Okay, and in the library component manager, you can check the version of each library installed in your application. Files, project archive, save archive. Okay, save. I will write it. Yes, perfect. Okay, I think I can give you directly by Skype. We try. Okay, this is our project archive. I can try to. No, I can't. Okay, I share after this.
Yeah.
Now you can. Okay, talking about the test on the Windows system. If you already, if you installed all, not speaking, all
components.
Not components. When you install the development system, you have more than one choice in the installation. If you installed all choice of this installation, you should have the gateway on your system and also the control win PLC. If you find the control win on your PC, you can, by right-click, start this PLC, okay? It's enough, go on your application, right-click, and select Update Device to modify the target device of your application. So now I can, for example, try to convert my application in control win. Now I installed the, if I don't remember bad, I installed the 32-bit, so I update device. All libraries will be updated with the right version for the target I choose. And now, by communication system, I try, okay. If you can see the list now, LP40 is always listed, but is not, I can select this because the target is different now. I just can select the PLC installed on my PC. So I select this. What I need is on Ethercat is in general, select the right line where I can want to manage the Ethercat communication. So in this case, I have to use, for example, this. And I could, and I can download my application on my target. Okay, and now I change the plugin on the network on the I/O, and I try to run my application on my PC. I don't know if it works because Ethercat by our switch. I don't know if you can run. Usually, also you should be able to run Ethercat also on standard Ethernet, but not mandatory. But it's I recommend you. I suggest to you to have a peer-to-peer connection by the LAN and the device, because using a switch sometimes is not possible to execute a communication on Ethercat. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it depends from the network, depends, because sometimes in the past I performed this communication, I executed this communication without problem, but it depends from the switch, depends, there is a lot of variables in the system. Talking about, I don't know if you are interested also to Modbus TCP, Ariel or Luis. Hello? Ariel?
The mic is disabled. No,
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, we are here. Yeah, it's okay. You can show us Modbus TCP also.
Yes. Uh, in the same way, like we have created we have added the Ethercat device, we can also, by right click, insert also Modbus TCP. First, we need to install, to add Ethernet, because Modbus TCP is based on the standard Ethernet standard. So I install Ethernet device. I can leave open the windows of the devices. I can just select Ethernet and select Modbus master. Okay. The Modbus TCP communication has no description file like Ethercat, because Modbus has no standard description file. This means that every producer can build some devices on Modbus and decide the mapping of his memory. So Modbus TCP has no description file. So you can add just one generic Modbus TCP slave. Okay. And what do you need to do is just for the Ethernet side, just select the right Ethernet port that you want to use for communication managing. And after that, okay. And after that, you go to set the parameter for Modbus slave. That means IP address of the slave and the channel, Modbus slave channel that you want to create for the communication with the slave. What is a channel? Simply add a channel. You decide, okay, a name. After that, you decide what is the Modbus function you need for the communication of your device, and this information will be provided from the device constructor, the device supplier. For example, read holding register. You can decide the way how you want to read this information. That means cyclic or by trigger or by another application task. So usually we set by cyclic, defining the time of your cyclic. And in the offset, you have to type the address of the variables of the memory area you want to read from the remote, the Modbus TCP slave device, okay? And the length of the data you want to read. For example, if we type 10 in this, okay? Now we have created a channel for read holding register. In the same way, you can also create a channel for write multiple register, okay? Now in the mapping IO, following the setting of the channel, the system will create the mapping of the variable of the Modbus TCP slave. So in the same way how we set with Ethercat, we can define the variable directly in the mapping IO of the slave, for example, word 0, or we can add a variable in our global variable list in the same way. Also for Modbus TCP, in the same way like Ethercat, we can perform a communication diagnostic using always the same library in the same way. So what I did for Ethercat, I can reproduce for Modbus TCP. That means, for example, if in this case Modbus, we can use the control space to have the automatic termination of the word. Dot get device state. Okay, and this part will be exactly the same, only we change the name of the checking variable. Okay. Okay. Now I don't have Modbus slave connected, so I can't show you the exactly executing of this part, but it's very simple. So Modbus TCP, you know, is not a real-time communication. That means you can reach the same cycle time of Ethercat. Okay? Do you have any question?
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
So this means I can do both at the same time, and on an LP31 I could even do CAN at the same time?
You can perform the two field bus in the same time, not on the same network.
Sure.
Sure.
But, so when LP31, one CAN interface, one Ethernet port for Ethercat, and one for Modbus TCP.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah, it's possible. LP31 or LP40 with the
CAN
port, the CAN port, optional CAN port installed.
Okay. Any more questions from Spain? This is what you
It's clear.
Yes, I think you need to have a device just to play a little bit with this configuration, because without device, okay.
Yeah.
It's easy, but I think the best way have the device to play with the device. Yeah, with that.
Okay.
I can send you this archive project. Okay, I share with you this archive project. So it's very simple, but this is just the basis for the codices configuration. After that, okay, there is a lot of function you can use, but this is just the